Welcome back to the Painted Peach for 2 Gingerbread Decor DIYs. Today's video is a part of the 12 Days of Christmas, day number 7 Gingerbread, hosted by Rustic and Lace DIY and Krista's Crafty Life. DIY number 1.
I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up some paint and make like a light tan color. I have this chestnut color and then I have some plaster, and that's very bright. You can't see that. There we go. Plaster. And I'm going to make a lighter color, a lighter tan, because this is super dark. You just want to dab it on. So we're going to dab this on the whole background. I think I'll have enough paint because it goes pretty far with the makeup sponge. When you use the brush, your brush kind of soaks up that paint, in my opinion, and with these little makeup sponges, it spreads out, kind of like you're putting on makeup. Alright, so we've got this whole thing. It's now a tan color, and you can see the little spongy marks. I like it that way. If you want it to look more brushed, you can take your sponge and go back over it after you dry it and get that look to go away. I like the differences in shading though. Stencil. And what we're going to use on stencil is not paint. And I'm hoping that I can match it up good so that it flows. We're going to start at the top and then work our way over and then down because it doesn't fit the whole thing. So I'm going to use, why is this light doing this to me today? Antique linen. A bit of heat to that just to set it because it is ink, so I might have to fuzz on my shirt. Where's my fuzzing pot? Things I don't think about. Here, I got a piece of fabric right here. We'll try to fuzz. We'll try to add some fuzz from that. Doubt there's any fuzz on it. Going to try to line this up as best we can. Chalkable shapes that go on there. So we'll do them separately. All right, this little guy goes up here, and then he goes right here. You can make it where you can take it off, but I don't know why you would want to. We don't need to take it off, right? We want it to be permanent. So I'm going to add some of this multi-purpose cement from the Dollar Tree. It's oozing out on my finger right now. And see how this works. There is another glue that I use from the Dollar Tree, but I can't think of what it's called, and I don't have it right here with me, so we're going to try this stuff. I'm going to add the hot glue. The hot glue has a tendency to not work on these. That's why I'm adding the other glue with it. And I can already tell it's already hardened up. That hot glue. I don't know why it does that. Yep, I'm going to have to pull it off. Mess it up. I shouldn't have done the hot glue. I should have just did the other glue. Try it again. Whoa, this stuff is strong. For sure. I'm just going to hold it there for a second. I really like this, y'all. I'm glad I did this pattern on here. I love it. Works out. I feel like it needs something heavy on it. I'm going to go around my white edges with it. Good thing that wasn't paint. Right. Now I wanted to use, I'm going to use some white anyway because I wanted to add some little icing. I was like icicle, but that wasn't a word. I'm going to use some spackle. I keep wanting to call this plaster. I'm going to use some spackle, and I'm going to try to ice him up a little bit because he has some little lines on him, but they're brown, and I want him to be white. So I'm going to use like a little twisty tie bag. I'm going to double it up though because they have a tendency of busting open when I use the spackle inside of them, and I don't want to make a mess. Just remember, anything that you use while you're using spackle, don't use it with your actual baking. I'm going to use some tips that I have designated just for this fake bake stuff. So, just a little tip. Don't use it with your food afterwards. And don't rinse this stuff down your sink. That would not be good. Okay, I'm just going to cut just a tiny, if I can get it all together here, tiny piece off the end. And I'm going to stick a tip in there. I'm going to use the rounded ones because I'm just going to be doing something a little not detailed, really. I'm hoping that this works. I think I might just have to use the one, because this one's coming all the way off anyway. Alright, so I'm using spackle. I'm just using a plastic spoon that I can throw away, and I don't need a whole lot. I'm just going to stick it right down in here. Usually use Ziploc bags with this because they're a little tougher, but I'm going to try it out with this. I did it one time and it busted through the bottom, so hoping doubling it up helps. I'm going to add just some little swirls. Swirly lines on him. And this stuff will just harden right up. I don't want that being so pointy right there. Funness to him. He's got little stripes of icing and little buttons.
And here it is displayed on my fridge. DIY number 2. I use this territorial beige to paint all my little gingerbreads that I got from the Dollar Tree, just like that. And then I took a white Posca pen and I drew on some little faces, some little wiggly lines to make the gingerbread men look realistic. Well, you know, they don't look realistic, but to make them look like gingerbread men. Once I did that, I decided I wanted to distress my cutting board up. So I take my Gator sander and I rough up the edges and all of that to give it a little bit of a outline around the cutting board. Then decide I need one more little gingerbread man, so I create one more and I add him on there at the top to even it out. I'm just going to use some hot glue to glue each of these little guys down. I thought this looked so cute, as if they had just been baked and sitting out to cool off to eat. Gave them a good dry, and then we're just going to dress up this cute little ornament with some of these. This is actually a bow from the Christmas section, and I just take pieces of it off to make ribbons. So I'm just tying that right onto the handle. And I think that adds such a cute little touch with the little curly ribbon on the cutting board. Then I added a little piece of cinnamon. Once I did that, I kind of searched through and I found this cute little tree cutting cookie cutter. It's a little charm, so I added that on top of the cinnamon stick and fiddled with that bow a lot, but decided it was fine. Then I took my territorial beige again and I decided to go around the edges with that and then sprinkle cinnamon right onto the wet paint to give it a distressed look. And the cinnamon, of course, looks like we've been baking with some cinnamon. So this was a really inexpensive project. Those little gingerbread men come from the Dollar Tree and they come in like 14 in the pack for $1.25. This cutting board, I believe, was from Hobby Lobby on sale last year, and I just redid it. The bow, of course, came from Hobby Lobby on sale with the Christmas. And, I mean, you can get a lot of those little strings off of that bow. So, very inexpensive. Here's the finished piece. I hope you enjoyed it. Today's video was number 7 of the 12 Days of Christmas, and it is gingerbread themed. This collaboration is hosted by Rustic and Lace DIY and Krista's Crafty Life. And I hope that you will give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell if you like what you see. And as always, stay peachy.